the mighty and resilient Merrimack River, carving through the communities of our great region. My name is Linda Lorden, proud president of Merrimack County Savings Bank, and like the river that serves as our namesake, we're a constant yet ever-changing presence. Because to us, it's bigger than banking. It's about powering communities and putting people first. It's about knowing where you came from and where you're going. That's Merrimack style. Visit us at themerrimack.com.
This is the Washington Times front page for Thursday, July 18th, 2024. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. President Biden has tested positive for COVID-19, marking another setback for the embattled president. Tom Howe reports the positive test surfaced late Wednesday when he canceled the second of two events in Las Vegas. White House physician Kevin O'Connor said the president has a runny nose, a cough, and general malaise. Biden returned overnight to his home in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. The timing and optics of the diagnosis couldn't be worse for the president, who's combating the idea he's too frail to serve a second term. The GOP turned its focus to Vice President Kamala Harris on the third night of the Republican National Convention, with their own VP hopeful, J.D. Vance, introducing himself to the country. Stephen Dinan and Susan Ferricchio report the Trump campaign said the intense focus on the vice president is intentional. Harris is considered the most likely candidate if Democrats persuade Biden to drop out of the race. One source familiar with the Trump campaign said strategists have begun pivoting to deal with all the possibilities. As for Vance, the 39-year-old Ohio senator is a former staunch critic of Trump who was tapped for the number 2 spot in a bid to attract blue-collar voters in Rust Belt states. Vance's speech centered on middle-class Americans and wove in the story of his past, including his mother's battle with drug addiction. Trump will speak Thursday to the GOP crowd, one that is increasingly convinced that God had a direct hand in preserving his life after an assassination attempt. Seth MacLachlan reports the sentiment is part of the broader feedback loop of adoration for Trump, who's been watching the events from the convention floor. For Democrats, the adulation fuels their complaints that the Republican Party has become a cult of personality. And finally, the U.S. military confirmed it's giving up on trying to salvage the floating pier project meant to deliver humanitarian assistance to Palestinian civilians inside the Gaza Strip. The decision, Mike Glenn reports, marks the end of a troubled mission that endured near-constant setbacks, including bad weather and maintenance challenges. Crews finished construction and installation of the pier in May. Although the $230 million project was only intermittently operational, it facilitated the delivery of nearly 20 million pounds of aid, though many were not buying the Pentagon's rosy assessment of the project. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.